YouTube. Music talks. I don't know if I want this to be a preview, but School of Performing Arts. Even though we had those when I was growing up, keep this in mind, I was born in 78. So they did have magnet schools. I'm wondering, I don't have children. I do have a goddaughter. And the School of Performing Arts, that's kind of a, I don't know if it's a tough topic with me, but does your child have to go to a school for performing arts? That's the question I'm wondering. Does he have to go to school for performing arts? Whatever happened to I grew up in a south suburb south of Chicago called University Park. I went to a school called Money Elementary. Shout out to Money Elementary. And it was not a school of performing arts. However, by the time third grade rolled around, there was a music teacher. We had music class. Dig this. We had music class, and we had somebody come in that was a music teacher. And if he ever finds this, Jim Atkinson, my violin teacher, and he was multi-talented: violin, piano, guitar. I mean, I'm quite sure he could play the drums too. At that time, being that young, we really couldn't understand the extent of his talent. I don't. That's tough. Do you have to perform, or do you have to pay more for your kid to be accepted in the School of Performing Arts? And I guess you kind of want the kid to hang around their peers, guys that are also doing music, so that they can develop. I just think they took so many programs out of schools now. And sorry, I'm drinking this protein drink. They've taken so many programs out of the schools now, and I don't even know if they're focusing 100% on academia. If you listen to what President Trump is saying about the 8th graders, I think it's time that we start opening up these schools, these public schools. I'm gonna emphasize the word public schools, to more arts programs. And I know, these schools have a budget that they need to operate on. They got to have a budget, but I mean, in the words of Tupac, we got money for war but can't feed the poor. We can't feed the poor. We can't develop our young children the way they should be developed. You know, there's so many other options other than you know, not knowing what you want to do once you get out of high school. I was watching what was I watching last night, and I was like, man, if only my father or mother would have known when I was a child that I had a fascination with weather. I have a fascination with tornadoes. I have a fascination with hurricanes. You know, I can literally look at the clouds and tell you what type of clouds they are, finding updrafts. If only, you know, like Patti LaBelle said, if only you knew. I just really think that this generation now, this generation that we created now did not just happen. This is the fruit. This is the fruit of our previous generations. Keep that in mind. This is the fruit of our previous generations. And that's why my heart really is into, you know, I say, hey, I want to learn all this stuff, and I want to provide these services at no cost. And I know people are going to say, well, how are you going to make a living? I'm doing what I'm doing now. I mean, wasn't Paul a tent maker? I heard that in the Jewish culture, it was mandatory. It was mandatory that the men knew a trade, so that in case their teaching music did not take off as well, they can always fall back on their trade. These foundational concepts. Yeah, I'm just doing a little bit of brainstorming on my next stop. You know, I'm like, okay, do I talk about relationships? Do I talk about? No, I'm gonna keep it mostly on this music thing, because it's gonna lead to everything else. You know, as far as I don't even know if parents now have the opportunity to really examine. You know, take that little boy or girl, look them in the eyes. It's like my sister. She passed away at 41 years. Was it 41? 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Wow, that's 6 years ago she passed away of cancer. She was a year older than me. But when I saw her daughter, my niece Sanaya, and I saw how she gravitated toward the instrument, my mouth dropped open. I said, this is spectacular. This is spectacular. See, I got those eyes to spot talent. I said, wow, look how she's gravitating towards this instrument. Look at how she's performing. Look how she's hitting the notes. It's our jobs as parents to nurture that. And I know it's hard in a society like this, where both parents have got to work a job. Both parents have got to work a job. You know, with the parent that I'm talking to yesterday, I don't know if I don't think she works, but that would be my main mission. That's the main mission right there. It's like if I was out in the fields all day, I told my wife already, I said, you gonna learn how to play some keys. There should not be a I don't know coming out your mouth. And shit, what's he playing? I don't know. You know, what's he doing? I don't know. No. Because you have lived already. I told my wife, I said, I done lived. I done, did this, got married. Now, the only thing I haven't done is had children. Well, don't you want to make $1 million? I said, well, here's the thing. I plan to make all that through my seed. Pouring into them, investing into them. Do they have to go to the top schools to get this type of education? Not when they have a father like me. Not when they have a father like me. And I feel like we got to take it back to, we've got to take it back to our, my grandfather's 90 years old, or he's going on 90. We need to take it back to his time, where we weren't afforded these so-called luxuries. There's no private school for him. There's no private school. There's no teacher coming by to, teach him music or teach him mechanical knowledge. This is a man that I've seen literally pull himself up by his own bootstraps, so to speak. If they didn't give him no shoestrings, he went and found some shoestrings. And apples don't fall that far from trees. It's like, if the world isn't going to hand it to you, if the system is not going to hand it to you, you got to go out and get it. You got to create your own system. I said about these people that want me to teach music. I said, man, it's, they hired me for the job, but they said, well, you got to wait on us to get back into the country, blah blah blah. Another person said I made the first round pick. However, didn't get a response from them after I did the professional thing, and I sent emails out. And I said, hey, emails and texts. Can you confirm the receipt of blah blah blah? Thank you for the consideration. Yeah, we're waiting until we get back in town. And I said to myself, I said, you know what? I said, if they drag their feet on this, I am literally gonna go create my own. Keep this in mind, the wheel does not have to be reinvented. The model does not even have to be reinvented. All you need to do, I know Jay-Z called this out, was look at somebody else's blueprint and make it better. Make it better. If they drag their feet on this, you know what? I am going to go in this direction. And by the time they decide to get back in touch with me, it's going to be like, hey, I have not heard from you guys. I followed up with you on such and such a date. I've decided to move on with this other endeavor. Thank you guys for the consideration. You got to go out and create your own. You got to go out and get your own. Kind of like who remembers FUBU? For Us, By Us. Started off making hats in an apartment in New York, and it blew up. For Us, By Us blew up, and I believe they sold it, somewhere down the line. But we're in the age and time where we can't wait for anybody to hand it to us. I wasn't born with a silver spoon in my mouth. Was not born with a silver spoon in my mouth. I have a GED. I sound like D.L. Hughley. I got a GED. It didn't even take long to get the GED. I literally went in, took all the tests, blew the test off the charts when they offered me a scholarship. They were like, hey, what happened here? And I've been forging my way and getting my own ever since. They have a saying that time cannot, or time doesn't wait on any man. Time doesn't wait on any man. Teach your children. Go out, get your own. Go out. Go out, make a name for yourself. Go out, get your own. Now, hey, I'm gonna tell my kids that if I have children, I say, hey, you know, and I definitely don't think, you know, Papa will be the type to make you wait. I don't make customers wait. I set an appointment. I'm there. It's done. You know, either I get paid or I'm giving some very good advice. I'm very prompt. Just doing some thoughts. I'm about to head to my next stop. Peace. Like, subscribe, share, hit the bell notification.